once you finish coming around, duplicating your layers and arranging your objects all the way around your circle, the very last object may need to get erased. Right here, we have two objects that are on top of our first object. We want every object to be on top of just one other one. So we need to erase a little bit of this object right here. I'm going to zoom way in, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my eraser tool. I'm going to make sure that it's a hard edge brush, opacity is 100%, and flow is 100%. And I'm going to make sure that I'm on this last layer right here. And then I'm going to take with my eraser and I'm going to start to erase part of this object. This will ensure that I see part of the object underneath. You need to go slowly so that you don't erase too much. Too much. Just step backward if you take away too much of the last object. Sometimes it's easier if you get very close with your zoom. If you wanted to soften it afterwards with a soft edge brush, you could do that as well so that it's not as noticeable. All right. Once you're happy with how that looks, and it looks like every object has been covered over just partially by one other object, then you're ready to start painting. So we're going to scroll back down to our first layer that we created. We are going to use the color replacement tool, which is right here. It'll be found under your brush tool. So if you click and hold, it'll be color replacement, and then up at the top, again, you'll use a hard edge brush. The mode will be color, and then for limits, in the tutorial it says find edges. We were playing in class, and contiguous actually worked better, so we can try and use that. And then the tolerance is at 100%. You don't have to be very cautious when you're painting because you're only painting on this one object because that's the only thing in the layer. So if you come down, you want to select first a yellow. So in the tutorial, I have a color wheel for you to look at, and you're going to color the top object, the thing at 12 o'clock, you're going to color it yellow, okay? Once, you might have to click around a little bit if some things aren't looking like they're getting colored, okay? The crosshairs in the center are where the color is being distributed, okay? Now, if you have an object that is a shade of gray, it may end up looking like an ugly shade of green, which is fine. That's what's supposed to happen. If you remember back to Studio and Art or Drawing and Painting, when you're mixing paints, if you mix yellow and black together, you get this yellowy green color. Okay, so that is what is supposed to happen. You are fine. Then you'll move to the second layer. Okay, the second object you had. You're going to slightly move toward the green. And then you're going to begin to color this. You want it to be a slight change every time you move around your color wheel. You're going to continue to use this technique until you get to about here, which should be blue-green. Continue around, this should be blue-violet. And then continue around, this should be magenta. And then you have everything in between. So every time you move across, there should be a noticeable difference, but not so much that it looks like a huge leap. Okay, you may have to go back and tweak and adjust, which is fine. But just make sure this is blue-green, this is blue-violet, this is magenta. These are the things in between magenta and yellow. So over here, it should go magenta, red, orange, okay? And if this needs to be a little bit off, and magenta starts here, that's fine. And this be red, that's okay. It gets a little bit hard to fit everybody in on this side. Once you're totally finished doing that, then your color wheel is complete. The last thing that there is to do in the tutorial is you can remove your guides. You go to View and Clear Guides, and they'll be taken away. And then there is the option to add a vignette. So if you come down to your background layer and go to Filter, Render, Filter, Lens Correction. you go to custom, and we've done this before, you drag the vignette amount all the way down. The midpoint is how far toward the center the gray or the black comes. So you can adjust that or not. And then you click OK. And even though you don't see anything here, it'll show up on your final image. If you like that, you can keep it. If you want to intensify it, you could do it again. It's thinking, there we go. And then it's complete. You're going to save, file save, and then file save as, and you're going to turn this into a JPEG so that you can upload it to Classroom. And then this is complete. Don't print yet, we'll print later, okay? And then you're done with your color wheel.